is an Unspoiled Network podcast.
This is Unspoiled, covering Harry Potter, The Recapping. Episode 10, in which RoShawn and I discuss Professor Sprout, and we listen to the final Supercut. Welcome to Unspoiled. Are you dropping shit over there? What are you doing?
Nothing.
Yeah. Dropped a bottle cap. I heard that shit. Welcome to the show, everybody. I'm Natasha.
I'm RoShawn.
And, this episode is going to be the very last one before we begin the reread of the books.
It's very exciting.
I'm applauding. I'm pretty stoked for the reread. I'm not going to lie. I am feeling a little bit cranky because I don't live in Philadelphia anymore, and the Philly Podcast Festival is coming up. And Harry Potter and the Sacred Text is going to be there, which, full disclosure, I have not listened to their show, even though everybody and their mother has recommended them to me. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah. I know.
I keep meaning to listen. I haven't yet.
I'm really bad about starting new podcasts. Like, I put podcasts on mostly for comfort. And so I like to listen to things that I have already been listening to, and starting new stuff is kind of hard for me. So, I just have, and also anytime that I'm consuming Harry Potter stuff, it feels a tiny bit work related. And sometimes I just want to not be doing anything related to my work.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I understand that.
Yeah. But yeah, I
think
really
I'm
wish I
going
could
to
be
try
involved.
to start listening as we get into the reread, though.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good accompaniment. Yeah, that makes sense. Although I wonder, guys, let me know do they share spoilers frequently about the Cursed Child? Because that's something that RoShawn has not been spoiled on. I am also unspoiled on that.
I feel like if I go back to the beginning of their catalog,
mm-hmm.
It might be a while before they even get to that.
That's probably true. Yeah.
Just depending on how far back you can go without with what's what's out there, how far back you can go.
Yeah, there was a point when I was messaging with Austin Lacey, who does the Supercuts, and he messaged me last night, and he's like, "Hey, are you guys recording tomorrow?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, I have the Supercut ready, but there was one joke that I wasn't sure if I should add and he said because it has to do with such and such and such and such, and I know RoShawn hasn't read Cursed Child," and I was like, I haven't read Cursed Child too, right? And he's like,
oh, no.
Forget everything I just said. It's not really a big deal, but it was definitely one of those moments where I was like, hey, buddy. And I've had a lot of people asking me about the book, about the movie for Fantastic Beasts. I feel like I went over this in previous podcasts a few times, but I've had enough people asking me about it that I'm like, maybe I didn't. But RoShawn and I are planning on covering that stuff, but it'll be for patrons only. Once pretty much we're done with Sherlock, I figure we can start talking about some of the extraneous Harry Potter fandom stuff. And Cursed Child, while I have heard that it would be ideal if we could wait and see it on the stage, guess what, guys? Probably not going to happen for either one of us.
Probably not.
So it's read it or nothing. And then there are the, Quidditch Through the Ages and the Fantastic Beast book. And I think I'm trying to remember, there was another Hogwarts textbook that got published. Oh, Tales of Beetle the Bard, which is the book that the Tale of the Three Brothers was in.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to cover all of those, and I'm going to be sending you those eventually. And we have agreed that RoShawn's going to watch the movies, but we're not going to do a podcast on each movie. I think that it'd be best because it was so painful for her just for the first one that she basically swore she would never watch them. And I've only convinced her to watch them because we're going to be going to Wizarding World, and a lot of the props and stuff won't be familiar to her if she doesn't watch them. So I figure she'll like binge them all in a week or two, and then we'll do one podcast about all of them. And
I am comfortable with that.
Right, I think that's fair. There's no reason to do one on each one when it's all a lot of plot stuff that we've covered in books already. So what are we really going to talk about except to gripe about the changes, which we can easily do en masse. And on that note, I today, just now, 5 minutes before we started, booked my rooms at Universal's Cabana Bay Beach Resort. Now listen, can I tell y'all something? I am so fucking excited. I'm so excited, you guys! Seriously. I might have to buy a new Harry Potter-ish bathing suit. I don't know what that even looks like. Like a Hogwarts crest on each tit? Like, probably. Somebody's got to make them, right? Or, no, it'll be a bathing suit that, like, is strapless, and it's white, and it looks like Hedwig, and each boob is an eyeball.
Oh, for crying out loud.
One of Hedwig's eyeballs. Or I could just, like, have house colors, like a navy blue suit with, like, bronze or silver or whatever on it.
Now you're talking. Now you're talking with some sense.
What, you don't want two giant owl eye boobs staring at you while you're taking your swim? That doesn't appeal to you?
I'm just picturing it, and it looks ridiculous.
I love it so much.
Why is one of Hedwig's eyes a half closed?
Oh, no.
Stop looking at my girls like that.
She's winking at you. She's saucy. She's in a little bit of a mood. She gets like this. Yeah, so I'm just like, the pool at Cabana Bay, too, looks amazing. So I definitely want to go to the beach if possible, but it really, a lot of what this hinges on is whether or not we're going to be able to fly or if we have to drive out. And if we fly, are we going to be able to afford to rent a car? Because I don't really know what transportation is like. The only thing that I know is that Cabana Bay offers a, what do you call it? Shuttle. A shuttle from the hotel to the property. And it is, if you stay there, you get access to the park an hour before any other guests are let in.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, so it starts at, like, the park normally opens at 10, but if you're staying on Cabana Bay or there's two other hotels, you get 1 hour early access. So there's a ton that you can, like, just blow through and not have to wait in lines and everything. And it's also, you know, in November, it's going to be really, really slow anyway. So it'll be amazing.
Yeah.
So for those, sorry, go ahead.
The weather is warm enough for like pool shenanigans.
It was when I visited at this time a couple years ago. It was hot some days, but it was, even when it wasn't hot, it still was perfectly nice pool weather, especially if you were sitting out in the sun. And considering, you know, that it's been the hottest year on record last year, yeah. I'm only anticipating it to get more intense this year. So for those who are interested in going, the check-in dates that I picked are Monday, November 27th, and checking out Saturday, December 2nd. So I'm really excited. Like, you don't even know. I really am. I'm just like, I haven't taken a real vacation in a really, really, really long time. And the last time that I did was right after my father passed away, and it was only for like 3 days. And it wasn't the best because everything was terrible. Because my grandmother's funeral was during the days that I had booked the trip. And I almost canceled it. And my mom was like, no, Grandma would have wanted you to go. So I went, but I was very aware that I was not at my grandmother's funeral while I was there at the inn. So it wasn't the most relaxing. And that was 4 years ago at this point, 5 years ago.
I have not been on, on vacation like that since 2004.
I knew you were going to have been like way longer than me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't vacation.
Yeah, like I hear about people who are like, well, what am I going to do about my yearly vacation? I'm like, yearly vacation? Who the fuck even are you, though?
Yeah.
I have.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
We were both about to start the sentence the exact same way. What a couple of creeps. No, you go first.
I was just going to say there was a girl I was friends with on Facebook, and she traveled all the time, and she went by herself, like to China and shit. She was, I'm going to Japan for my vacation. And I just like, how? Like, how is this your life? What do you, But I just don't. I take vacations from work and literally just stay at my house for a week.
Yeah, that's pretty much like and it may be true of this too, but I think it'll still be awesome enough to make up for it. But there are definitely times where I've gone away and come back and I'm like, I need a vacation now, like to recover from my traveling and everything. Yeah, but I'm so excited to do this, to meet hopefully some listeners who are able to go. Like I know a lot of people aren't going to be able to who would like to, but I'm hoping that some people are able to go and some co-hosts and stuff. And I just can't wait to see the second half of the park and all that stuff. I'm just fucking excited. I really am. Yeah,
I'm just trying to figure out. I figured with Owen there, that'll be my backup, so I know we're going to see The Simpsons. Because he's not, you know what I mean? I was worried, like, no one else is going to be into it. I'm like, Owen's going to be into it. It's going to be fine.
Yeah, I mean, even though I'm not like, a diehard Simpsons fan, I'm still going to be into that part just out of pure curiosity. Like, because like I said, I've been to the park twice and I just ran through that section because I did not care. So I sort of, now I'm like, oh, there's this part of the park that meant nothing to me that I think is going to be, I'll be able to take a lot more enjoyment out of it,
Yeah. Plus the smiles on our faces are going to be enough.
Right.
Because I imagine that him and I will be insanely happy.
Oh, definitely. I'm considering now, I'm like looking at it. Like I said, I would check out on Saturday. And I'm kind of like, maybe we should check out on Sunday and have Saturday there. But anyway, we're checking in on the 27th, so that won't change. I'm figuring it out, guys. I'm just so excited. So anyway, that is done. And there is the GoFundMe that is posted on the top of the Facebook page that I pinned there. And I want to say thank you to a few people who have donated recently. So thank you so much to Amanda Campbell, Tessa French, Anonymous, Sarah Baggs, Jessica Dawn, Elizabeth Bergskaug, Megan Tolentino, who also left a note saying, I hope you guys have a wonderful time, and $100 from Anonymous, who, it may be anonymous on there, but I know who you are. I know who you are, and thank you.
I know who it is, too.
You do?
I do.
How do you know?
Because I just know.
Did you message them? Did
Nope.
they message you?
Nope.
How do you know who it is?
I just bet I know.
Oh, okay. I'm like, guys, seriously. It's been up 2 days. We're at $190. Thank you so much. I have like a $2,000 goal because I was just like, I don't know. Trips are a lot, right? And we're going to be splitting it between me and RoShawn. But I'm not trying to just like reach the goal. I don't have a deadline for it or anything. It's basically whatever you all can spare that can help us out because it's tough for the two of us. But we still want to make it happen. So yeah, thank you guys so much who donated, and y'all, like, I think practically everybody who donated is already a patron. So they're just like, oh yeah, here's more of my money, which I just really can't understand and fathom, like that kind of generosity. Cause I think I'm just really cheap. Am I cheap or am I just selfish? Is that different?
I think the word you're looking for is poor.
Oh, yeah, there's that. There's that. Yeah, I guess. Oh, yeah, maybe you're right, because I got some extra money another month, and then I went and donated it all to other people.
Yeah, I just donated to somebody's, too, and I don't have any money to do shit like that.
So maybe I'm not just selfish. I have anxiety, so, yeah. But thank you guys. That's so awesome. All right, so I got a post from a listener on Patreon, and I believe it was Illy, or Iha. I think it was. Let me just double check and see who it was. And Oh, no, it was Illy. Illy sent me a link about Professor Sprout actress Miriam Margolyes, who launches into a shock rant on BAFTA red carpet, insisting, quote, she's over Harry Potter, which is so funny to me. Apparently they asked her if she had seen the latest movie. I'm sorry.
They asked her about Cursed
Yeah. I'm like, I'm scrolling down to read this article, and there is a naked yoga article right next to it. It's distracting the shit out of me.
You were trying to be like, start the episode, and you're like, why are you making all this noise? Like, because I want to talk about this website. I got so distracted. And there's a headline for, do you remember the band Jamiroquai? I love them.
Yeah, wow.
So
I haven't heard that name in a while.
He is over here on the right hand side. I guess he got hurt. And oh my God, wait, where is it? And the tag is Jamiroquai. And that's the noise I was making when you were
I'm gonna put that at the end as a stinger so you guys can hear, because I pressed record and I could hear RoShawn just going and I'm like waiting to start talking because I think she's gonna start talking, but she keeps not. And then finally she's like, are you gonna start? And I'm like, I was gonna. Oh, Jamiroquai, here it is. He's unable to move as he shares hospital video after spinal injections. Yikes. This whole thing, this naked yoga lady, saucy TV host Jenny Scordamaglia? That's a crazy name. Strips completely naked to show off her yoga skills. Yeah, to show off her yoga skills.
Yeah, that's why she did it.
Uh-huh. She looks like Britney Spears in the face.
There's a sentence here, and it's in English, but it makes no sense to me.
Okay.
It says, Cat to the Future is the tag. It says, Cat and Alfie spinoff Redwater and EastEnders both drop major clangers over date the pair left Walford.
I'm sorry.
What?
You're going to have to do that one again. Where is it? I'm looking for it.
It's like a box right above the Jamiroquai thing.
Okay, hold on,
Which
I'm finding it.
Which is so fucking disrespectful.
Yeah, we have this really serious, like, spinal injury story. The one for me that's above it is lunacy. UFO hunters video claims to prove there are, quote, mobile alien bases on the surface of the moon.
That one's further down from mine. Oh, fuck.
I don't see it. Say it again.
Cat to the Future. Cat and Alfie spin-off Redwater and EastEnders both drop major clangers over date the pair left Walford. I
got nothing. I got nothing.
I read it like 6 times. I was like, what? Wait, what?
Here it is. And Alfie spin-off Redwater and EastEnders both drop major clangers over date the pair left Walford.
Like,
wow.
What? I don't know. Oh.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry.
I love the British tabloids. Oh yeah, we're on the Sun website, you guys, to give you
thesun.co.uk.
Yeah. So.
So the article that we were originally going to talk about, which we got woefully sidetracked about, she asked on the BAFTA red carpet if she had seen the latest installment in J.K. Rowling's franchise. Miriam ranted, "Don't be ridiculous. Of course not. I'm not interested in Harry Potter anymore." When asked why someone who starred in the movie franchise and is an esteemed theater actor wouldn't have an interest in seeing the production, Miriam continued her epic rant. "Because it's over for me. What's the matter with you? How old are you? 12 and a half? Do me a favor." Oh my God. Wow. Seeming to have calmed down slightly, she then explained, "I'm glad it's happening and I'm glad it's a success, but it's got nothing for me. It's not my kind of theater." Ooh.
I love that "do me a favor" just ends like that. Like, right. She doesn't say.
She doesn't have to, because you can imagine that she was making the jerk-off motion with her hand when she said it. Do me a favor.
That is not what I was imagining, but I appreciate it.
A source told Metro, being Miriam, it was hard to tell if she was genuinely angry with them or joking around with them. She's not exactly a shrinking violet when it comes to interviews. Oh, that's
Do you
funny.
remember the old Saturday Night Live sketch with William Shatner? And he's at a convention, it's like a con, and he starts yelling at the audience.
No.
Telling them, you've never seen that? He's
No,
like,
I don't think so.
You guys are pathetic, man. Star Trek was 20 years ago.
Oh
Get
my
away.
God. That's awful.
You never...
No. Oh, that'd break my heart if I were a fan.
No, it's
Don't you even
really
try and act like
serious.
this wasn't mean. That was mean.
But it's a little mean. But it's
mean.
really fucking funny, though. That's what that made me think of when she called him 12. What are you, 12?
I just like this because I don't go to cons. It's never been something that I've really been into, because the only fandom that I was into until recently was Harry Potter, and most of those cons aren't that heavy on the Harry Potter stuff. It's comic things and Doctor Who and all that, or anime. But I went to a con with Owen in Dallas, and there was a panel with oh my God, now I'm forgetting his name, with fucking Luke Skywalker. Help me out.
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill. I'm like saying Mark Hammer in my head, and I'm like, I know that's not right, but it's like as close as I can get. Mark Hamill. And it was him and the guy who does the voice of Batman. It was a panel about the Batman comic, the cartoon. And everybody kept asking him about Star Wars, which was not what he was there for. He was there for the Batman thing. And he wanted people to ask about that because he has his partner from the cartoon sitting there with nothing to do and nothing to contribute because people keep asking about Star Wars. And I didn't realize that it's like kind of common, I guess, for them to give their fans a hard time, because there were a few times where people asked questions and Mark Hamill was just like, yeah, I can't hear what you're saying. Let's go to somebody else. Like, just fucking shut him down completely. Or somebody asked a question and he just was at a loss because they phrased it in such a convoluted way that he would sort of looked at the rest of the crowd and was like, anybody? Does anybody know what he's saying? I don't get what he's even asking me. And so there were a few times that I was just like, I guess if I was doing this all the time and having to field these people that were just like, I would probably start to get really irritated, but I just never expected that to be something that was okay. And everybody took it in a really good natured way, as if this is expected, part of the experience,
Oh.
So it wasn't like the audience was getting irate or anything. Everybody was laughing. But it definitely if I had been in his shoes with the little experience that I have, I would have been so much more cautious. But, he has his not only total fame to fall back on, but he's out of it now, right? They're coming to him with shit, begging, be in our stuff. So he has all the power. But it is just kind of startling that they're able to just slap it down in such a way.
Have you seen, I'm sorry guys, I know this is Harry Potter, but I'm going to talk about The Simpsons again. Have you seen the one with him on The Simpsons?
Yes,
the
I
bodyguard
did.
episode where he's, and I think it's Mayor Quimby says something to him live long and prosper instead of may the force be with you.
Oh no. Oh, that's embarrassing. I live in fear of doing something dumb like that and everybody just losing my mind. And I said everybody losing my mind, and I'm saying that because they would rip my brains out.
Yeah, pretty much. I was like, that's not how that expression goes.
But yeah, and I kind of I have a sort of mixed reaction to the thing with with Robert Pattinson with Twilight.
Yeah, I know who he is, but what thing?
So he was starring in all the Twilight movies, and there was this whole, I mean, it was so obvious that Kristen is gay, but they like made them have this fake relationship.
Oh, yeah.
And he didn't like the books or the movies. Like, he wasn't impressed with the material, and he was frustrated by the lack of like depth there was to the character. And he had came out in several interviews and said that he just played Edward as a self-loathing narcissist, and apparently that's dead on, and made a lot of comments just about how like the source material was really not great quality or not well written, even though he was in the midst of making them, you know, like he was making money on. And so it's one thing when something is over, but when you're in the middle of it and you're profiting off it and you've been given a job and you're just talking shit, I feel like that's kind of shitty. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's a level of professionalism. If you don't respect it and you don't like it, then don't do it. But you don't get to like make fun of something and shit all over the fans who do like it, and then hold your hand out and have them put a bunch of bills in your hand. You know what? That's funny, because I think that there are, like, I'm trying to think of an example. And of course my brain is like giving me nothing, but if you are an actor and you do a project and it's not great, and you know it's not great, and then it doesn't do well, right? But you still have to kind of go promote it. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you'll see them on talk shows, late night shows, and they're kind of like, yeah, this is kind of a piece of crap, but what are you going to do? Right? Yeah. And everybody kind of laughs and jokes because it's kind of like, oh, well, we understand. And nobody really gets mad at them. But if you have a product that is incredibly successful, like the Twilight movies and books, right? Mm-hmm. Where you have lots of people that are fans and invested in it, mm-hmm. then I think you're right. Like, it's shitty to be shitty about it, you know? Yeah. Because there are so many people that love it. Mm-hmm. And it feels, I'm not really concerned like about a level of professionalism as far as like the actor and what you owe the movie makers and producers and studio. But I think you owe fans a little bit better than that. Yeah, and like if you're making a movie and the movie's wrapped and you're doing promos for it, it's out of your hands by then. But he was doing this while he was on interviews for like the second movie, and there's still another movie that's going to be coming out. You know what I mean? Like, he's like in it for the 3 or 4 movie deal, but you're still talking shit about it like in the second movie. Yeah, and I just feel like, how do you go back to work after saying all this shit and like act and be cool with the people working? And you know, it's funny because he was such a big part of the draw for so many people, mm-hmm. you know? At least from what I remember, I feel like he was like a heartthrob status, right? Mm-hmm. That he probably had a level of power, you know, himself mm-hmm. in that role. Yeah, that's true. That he could say whatever he wanted to say. What are they going to do? Recast him? No, he's the fucking biggest star of the movie. You know what I mean? Right, yeah. I go back and forth with this. Whenever someone is really successful in their craft and then they seem to resent the success, you know, mm-hmm. or feel like that the success isn't based on something that they would value. Right. You see it a lot. You see it a lot in music, especially if you listen to what would be considered like underground mm-hmm. music or subculture music, and then a band breaks and gets like wildly successful, and then they do that whole thing where they like, you know, the burden of fame and all right. that kind of stuff. So I feel like I sympathize with someone who's creating something and they feel like they want people to see what they can really do. Mm-hmm. And then they blow up based on like a song that they wrote that they don't even really think is the best song they've ever even written, mm-hmm. you know? Yeah. And it puts them in like this weird, but like what Robert Pattinson has done, what else? I mean, I know he's been in a movies, but like really? Yeah, I mean, like I'm trying to think because he was in Harry Potter. He was Cedric.
He's on In That Water for Elephants, I think it was called, was it Reese Witherspoon?
Is that the one about 9/11?
No, it's one about elephants.
Oh, is it really? I thought that was just a metaphor. There's one about 9/11 where he dies in the Twin Towers.
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else though. Yeah.
All I got is that elephant movie. It wasn't half bad.
I never saw it.
Oh, it's like he works at a circus and he's like a vet and he falls in love with. I'm pretty sure it's Reese Witherspoon and her act is like a pretty girl riding a savage beast kind of deal in the 20s.
What's up?
It wasn't terrible.
All right. So sorry guys, we got totally off track there, but I just think it's an interesting question because and if I try and put it in context of like what I'm doing, what if the show that suddenly like took off and became the most famous was my like canceled 3 seasons of Scandal or something, and how weird that would make me feel when I had a bunch of completed stuff that I really liked. But this is the thing, because Scandal's got a pretty firm fan base that's like a tiny bit rabid.
Right.
But yeah, I guess I could see being a little bit resentful that you don't have the control over what takes off, but also just like fucking capitalize on that shit then. Do what you need to do.
I think that, how long has it been since the last Harry Potter movie now?
I don't know. Let me look at when those came out.
Does it say I think it says it here in this article. She was in the first one and the 2011 finale.
Oh, okay.
Right?
So it's only been 6 years. It feels like longer.
Yeah, and I'm sure it feels like longer to her too.
Probably.
And not for nothing, but how big was her parts in these movies?
Not very.
Right? It says she was in 2000. She was in the first one and the last one. I don't know if that's true. Was she not in any of the other movies?
I thought she was, but maybe she didn't have lines. Maybe she was just kind of hanging out in the background.
So, yeah, she's like, that was a job. I think 2 jobs I had.
Right.
Get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That makes sense. All right. So today we're going to be doing the Supercut for the final book, which has the notorious chapter in which your brain broke a little bit.
Oh my God.
I'm really excited about that. And just overall, I can't wait. We're going to do this and then we're going to start the reread. I'm just so excited. I wonder if we're going to finish we must be able to finish the reread by the time we go on the trip, right? I hope that lines up. And then another thing I've had a couple people ask me about is Wizard People, dear readers, which is, I've mentioned it to you before, RoShawn, but I don't know if you remember. It is a audio accompaniment for the first Harry Potter movie. And what you're supposed to do is turn the sound off on the movie and play this. Oh, that's right.
Over. I remember that. Yeah.
And it is so funny and so like ridiculous that you have to listen to it, but I want to be there when it happens. So I want that to be something that we do in Orlando with the people who are visiting. I was thinking about trying to like rent out a space, but I just can't get a solid answer on who's going to be able to make it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to just kind of go with, we're going to squeeze people into our room,
Silence somebody's room.
Yeah. Like if that's possible. I don't expect there to be so many people that we can't fit them all in there, and hopefully like nobody on that floor calls the hotel front desk and is like, there's 65 people in the room next door. But that's what I'm kind of going with now. Cause I had wanted to set something up in like a space where you and I could do a live recording, and I would still like to do that, but I think that I won't be able to like nail that down until much closer to the date, because then I'll start to have a real sense of who's going to be able to make it and how big a space to get. So I might just, I might not even need to do it in a, because I was thinking about how hotels have like those conference rooms. But we might be able to just take a room from the back of a restaurant or something and do it in there, who knows? We'll figure it out. But I just wanted to let everybody know what the vague plans were, because I get a lot of suggestions like, are you guys going to cover this? Are you going to talk about that? And we're going to cover everything. But some of it's going to be only available to certain people. And some of it's going to be in Orlando and yada, yada, yada. All right. Are you ready for this?
I am. I'm staring at one more little blurb on this website, so I'm going to have to close it.
What is it?
Grin and bear it. Charlotte Crosby sliced Stephen Bear's Todger with her sharp nails in horrifying sex.
Oh my God. It just ends with horrifying sex?
Yep. It just ends. And I am closing this down. Shut it down.
Todger. I didn't know about that one.
Yeah, what does that even mean?
That's amazing. She cut his dick up.
Oh, is that what a Todger is?
Yeah, I would guess, right?
Oh, I don't know. I don't like it.
Oh my God. Let's start a podcast where it's just you and me being given like headlines from other countries with slang where we have to like parse together what the fuck it is.
I would be down for that.
I would love that. Yeah, Todger, a man's penis.
Oh.
I just looked it up.
Oh, why is that news?
That's amazing.
All right, goodbye,
a dick
son.
or someone that acts like a dick. Nice. Thank you, Urban Dictionary.
I do kind of like that, though. Fucking Todger.
Okay.
All right.
Let's start this off.
All right, so yeah. I'm going to mute my mic so,
All
I
right,
can squeal in delight and not ruin the recording.
Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows by J.K. Rowling. I'm talking about your niece, Bellatrix. She has just married the werewolf, Remus Lupin.
I did like hearing that Lupin and Tonks got married, though. I feel like that means somebody's going to have to die, though.
Why?
I don't know, because that's just what happens.
Oh, like a trade-off so that you get one good thing happen and one bad thing happen?
No, I mean like either Lupin or Tonks will have to die now.
Oh, okay, got you. No happy couples.
Exactly.
I got you. Or both of them. No happy couples. No remaining happy couples. Everybody must die. Everybody, all of their friends. You know what? They just bombed the wedding.
It was with horror that I heard, towards the end of my year's travels, that yet another tragedy had struck the Dumbledores. The death of his sister, Ariana.
There's that weird thing that happened when Dumbledore was drinking, whatever that was, in the cave, and he has that moment where he's sort of apologizing and pleading. And they say that the sister had been in poor health, but they don't say that's why she died.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Dumbledore was involved in that in a way that we don't know, and that's why he felt so guilty about it. I'm afraid that I'm going to see a lot of people that I don't care for. I feel like Umbridge, at some point, will make an appearance. I don't know in what capacity. I'm curious because we know from the first chapter that infiltrating the ministry is part of the plan. So, and I know that she works at the ministry. So I don't know if she's going to be someone who is used as they try to curse all the people that surround Scrimgeour. So she ranks up pretty high. So she's definitely a potential victim. I still firmly believe more people will fall. Like I said, I know enough to know that it won't be the main three. But outside of that, I feel like Weasleys are in danger. There will be a Weasley loss. Just because I feel like that's going to be something that really kicks you in the gut. Yeah. Like one of the twins or something. Like, I don't want that.
Thinking of Dumbledore and the lies with which Rita Skeeter was defaming him. A flash of brightest blue.
Is there going to be Dumbledore in that mirror? Can't be. Like a way to communicate with him? I don't know. Just that he was thinking about him while he had it in his hand. I really don't know what that was. It was just his imagination, I guess.
He managed to do it, but he almost died.
Yeah.
And it was Snape who saved him, according to him.
Yeah. Maybe that's why his hand never healed all the way.
Oh, shit.
I'm just saying. Raggedy ass motherfucker.
Oh my god. Raggedy ass motherfucker. Oh, I forgot.
I was so over him.
That, because you really, like, at the beginning of the last book, I'm not buying it. And I remember just being, like, a little bit worried about it because I was like, well, she needs to buy it for this to be effective. But we've only gotten halfway through the, like, total scenes that we actually see him in, really. So maybe, and then you just went so completely over to believing that he was the bad guy so wholeheartedly with no doubts in your mind at all. And I just felt like it was Christmas. It was so great to hear how much you hated him every time. Like, every time you reminded me that you just wholeheartedly had gone for that, I was just so happy. So yeah, that's why whenever you call him names, I'm just like giggling hysterically.
I felt like you guys listen to me go through this. You know what a roller coaster it was for me with Snape, you know? Mm-hmm. So when I finally settled on he was a piece of shit, I felt like I was in it to win it. Mm-hmm. And then what did they do? Stupid books.
Okay.
Also, how about calling that a twin?
Well, you had got spoiled on that. That doesn't count. Yes, you did. And then you told me about it. And then you forgot that you got spoiled.
Oh, wait, are you sure? Mm-hmm. I know Chris got spoiled on a twin.
No, he got spoiled on a twin sitting at a bar when somebody was like, oh, wasn't it sad when the twin died? Because they didn't know that he hadn't read it. But you got spoiled because J.K. Rowling apologized for him that year.
Oh, fuck. That's right.
Yeah. So I think that you, like, somewhere in your subconscious remembered and just, yeah. So yeah, you don't get credit for that from me, lady.
No, my subconscious is really raggedy though. You know, it's not dependable.
Clearly.
All right.
You were muttering in your sleep. Was I? Yeah, Grigorovich. You kept saying Grigorovich.
Do we know that name?
Do we?
Have we heard that name before?
Have we?
I don't remember. I felt like when I read it, I was like, oh, I know that name. But do I? If it's somebody we've met, just tell me.
I will not do that.
Aww.
Well, it's not someone we have met, but you have heard the name before.
I have heard the name before, right?
Yeah.
When did I hear that name?
Oh, I don't know.
Although Lupin smiled as he shook Harry's hand, Harry thought he looked rather unhappy. It was all very odd. Tonks beside him looked simply radiant.
He doesn't look right. But Tonks looks thrilled.
Yes.
So I don't know.
What do you think?
Well, I know he was reluctant to get married. I wonder if she's pregnant and he's doing that worrisome, oh, what if it's part werewolf? Or, I don't know. Whatever kind of weird thing. Because he was so hesitant. Oh, you're a lot.
I open at the close.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Why is everything so cryptic? I figure we gotta put it together. We gotta read the book. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's a reference to something in the book, in one of the stories, that ties in with this little cryptic message.
Ariana was not a squib, wheezed Doge.
So you say, Elphias, but explain then why she never attended Hogwarts.
I don't think I buy this whole idea that she was being kept prisoner because she was a squib. Because in my mind, Dumbledore would not abide something like that. I'm not ready to concede that yet. So I don't know if maybe she was part werewolf. But I have no reason why. Why would she be? How would she be? How would that happen? I don't know.
Little woman, bow on top of her head. He frowned and then added,
Look like a toad.
That's the end of the chapter.
So now we gotta go see this bitch.
Right?
I don't want to see her. If she's aware of what's going on at the ministry, which how could she not be? So if she's aware of it, is she acknowledging it, or is she going to be in denial about it? You know, is she going to be an ally because, you know, it's Voldemort? You know, or is she just going to be carrying, like, doing the party line thing despite who's in charge? I'm really curious what she's going to be like if we see her again.
The golden grills slid apart again, and Hermione gasped. A squat, toad-like witch, wearing a velvet bow in her short hair and clutching a clipboard to her chest.
I want them to hit her over the head with a mallet and just drag her, you know?
Oh my God.
But I know that's not what's going to happen. She's not an agreeable person. So talking to her and trying to plead with her and trying to appeal to her better nature doesn't seem possible, because I don't think she has a better nature. I honestly have no idea how they go from having the doors open and she's there to getting the locket from her, which is what needs to happen. Yeah, I can't even picture it. Maybe they just bang her on the head. Hit her on the head and drag her into the basement.
At the very least, we should know they're coming. I can't guarantee we'll keep out Don't say the name. Ron cut across her, his voice harsh.
Something about the way he says show him some respect makes me think that Ron might not be fully Ron. Is it possible to splinch with someone else? You know?
I see what you're saying.
Know. But it didn't sound like I understood Ron being freaked out, and even him not wanting to call him Voldemort. But that one line, show him some respect, feels weird to me.
Okay. I totally forgot that you made that, not even theory, but that just like kind of caught your attention.
The show him some respect line?
Yeah. Which...
It's a weird thing for him to say.
Yeah, like, and now, like, you know... Because they put the tracker on people who said the name, they made it so that it broke through protective spells and stuff. Mm-hmm. Now it's clear, like, it was J.K. Rowling trying to give them a reason to not get caught, because it's widely known, and it wouldn't be believable to her readers for Harry to just stop saying it all of a sudden. So she has to, like, give a reason. But you're right, like, the way that she wrote the reason doesn't feel like it's in character exactly. Or at least it feels like it's kind of clumsily phrased, which I guess is in character. Sorry, Ron. But...
This don't say his name. Did that happen? That happened after Ron left and came back, right?
No,
or it's before?
Because by the time he comes back, he knows for sure that it's trackable.
Right.
But
so
yeah,
is this right? Is this scene happens when he's still reacting to the Horcrux?
I don't know if they've even gotten there yet. I'm not actually sure. Because they do say his name when they're at the coffee shop, and that's what gets them caught right away. So I imagine it has to be right at the beginning of their camping. So I'm not sure they even got the Horcrux yet by this point.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we'll see. Because once we keep listening, I think we'll hear more about the plan, right?
Right.
Or I guess they did, because they don't leave the ministry and come back, do they? So they must have the Horcrux, because we already heard about them running into Umbridge.
I think I thought afterwards, after this happened, that part of why he reacted that way is tied into, you know, his behavior tied to the Horcrux.
Okay.
But I can't remember exactly when this scene happened, so I don't know if that's, you know, that's
right.
Really.
Okay.
All right, let's listen.
Yeah, let's listen, shall we?
How come you're in hiding, then?
I deemed it prudent,
said the deeper-voiced goblin.
Having refused what I considered an impertinent request, I could see that my personal safety was in jeopardy.
And clearly they're not going to be told what the fuck to do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it seems kind of like lame to think that there's just a Horcrux in a vault somewhere, you know? But maybe there is, you know, or maybe there's something that would lead someone to something. I don't know. Maybe not a Horcrux, but whatever it is that the thief stole that Voldemort is looking for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe something along those lines.
I believe that the last time I saw the sword of Gryffindor leave its case was when Professor Dumbledore used it to break open a ring.
Mm-hmm.
Dun, 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 dun,
So that's how he did it.
Right?
Why didn't he just fucking tell us that? Where is it that Dumbledore lived? It was where Harry lived, where his parents were. What's that called?
Godric's Hollow?
Yes.
Okay. You think it's there?
I think it's there.
Where exactly? Like, because it's a town.
I don't know if it's going to be at Harry's house or at Dumbledore's house. Or
Okay.
maybe what's the old lady, Bathilda's house?
Bathilda Bagshot?
Yeah.
Okay. That's
Because
fun.
Harry really wanted to go there. And I think Dumbledore knew Harry really wanted to go there. But he got talked out of going there. But, that would be dangerous because everyone knows that's where Dumbledore was from. Everyone knows that's where Harry's parents were. So that I don't know how smart it is for them to go there. Like, it would be very dangerous. But they have to go there.
He saw the old body collapsing and the great snake pouring from the place where her neck had been.
Were you surprised?
It's
It's kind of a weird one because, like,
Yeah.
you know something's not right about this.
I was surprised when a giant fucking snake shot out of her head. Yeah, I was surprised at that.
You don't say.
But the fact that it was not what it looked like, I wasn't surprised by that.
Aberforth blamed Albus, you know, as people will under these dreadful circumstances. All the same, breaking Albus's nose at the funeral was not decent.
Maybe Albus didn't
Prevent
something bad. Didn't prevent it or didn't punish whoever was responsible in a way that Aberforth thought maybe he should have.
Mm-hmm. Are you mental? Nothing but the shock of hearing that voice could have given Harry the strength to get up.
Oh, it's wrong!
Shivering violently, he staggered to his feet. And she stretched like a snake and entwined herself around Riddle Harry, wrapping him in a close embrace. Their lips met. On the ground in front of them, Ron's face filled with anguish. He raised the sword high, his arms shaking. Harry whirled around, slipping in the snow, wand held ready to defend himself, but there was nothing to fight. The monstrous versions of himself and Hermione were gone. Harry saw Ron smiling slightly as he pulled his maroon pajamas out of his rucksack.
You guys! So much just happened.
I know!
Oh my god. So the Deluminator is a find Hermione kind of thing.
I find where your heart wants to be kind of
Yeah.
thing, I think. Yeah.
Oh, and how terrible was it when they opened the Horcrux? And they've got the fucking sword now.
Yeah.
And what was that dough?
What was that, Del? What do you think about that?
Don't know. I mean, I just assumed it was a Patronus too, but there's no one else. There was no one else there that we saw, and I don't know. And like, I mean, I guess it could be someone that I don't know, guys.
Yeah, Ron theorizes that this might be Dumbledore.
He's crazy.
Yeah.
How?
Because Dumbledore's secretly still alive, watching over them and guiding their every step.
Oh. I want it to be true as much as Ron does.
That's the thing. Everybody does. Like, any reader, Harry, Ron, like, everybody's, like, secretly maybe.
Yeah. But then Harry has to be the fucking downer. I saw his body. I was there. Dead.
We are talking about a cloak that really and truly renders the wearer completely invisible and endures eternally, giving constant and impenetrable concealment no matter what spells are cast at it. How many cloaks have you ever seen like that, Miss Granger?
So, he's got the invisibility cloak. That's a given. We're all on the same page.
I mean, it sure sounds like it, but everybody seems pretty convinced that none of the other stuff could exist. So, it's one of those,
Yeah. Well, if the cloak exists, I feel like if you accepted the cloak exists, you gotta accept that the other things exist too.
I agree. This is Unspoiled, covering Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, chapters 22 and 23. The Deathly Hallows and Malfoy Manor.
Oh! Is that the next chapter?
In these chapters...
Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
It's in here. He left me the ring. It's in the snitch.
So you definitely think that the ring is in the
snitch. I feel pretty good about it.
Now, why? Like, because it's broken, right?
I think the stone as the resurrection stone probably still works. If it's out there and they're meant to find it, it still works. I think it probably was damaged because it wasn't like Dumbledore was damaging it to damage the stone, but there was a Horcrux in it and he had to,
Right.
But I don't think that things, if I am believing in this, I don't think those types of things can be destroyed. I don't think that the wand can be destroyed. I don't think the cloak can be destroyed. And that leads me to think that I don't think that the stone can be destroyed.
Okay.
I mean, so fuck. What if Harry can just fucking bring Dumbledore back at some point for communication?
Okay.
Dumbledore doesn't have to stay. It's not like Harry's not going to go mad and hang himself because he can't be with Dumbledore. But you know what I mean?
Listen, I don't want to spoil you, but... How fucked would it be if that was the end of this book, though? Seriously.
Girl.
All he cared about was that a dark stain was spreading across Dobby's front, and that he had stretched out his thin arms to Harry. With a look of supplication, Harry caught him and laid him sideways on the cool grass. And then, with a little shudder, the elf became quite still, and his eyes were nothing more than great glassy orbs sprinkled with the light from the stars they could not see.
Oh. 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 Holy fuck. Oh, fuck. That was a lot.
Yeah.
Dobby.
I know.
Oh. Oh, wow. So much just happened. Oh.
Ugh.
Oh, if I had something, I would pour it out.
I forgot how emotional I got during that reading.
I forgot that there were tears.
I was crying. I was like, it was one of those things that, like, I knew a lot of people got super upset at his death when they first read the books, and I didn't have as much of a connection to Dobby the first time around. So I went into the reading thinking, like, yeah, this is going to be sad, but, it'll be fine. And then all of a sudden I'm reading it and my voice is choking up and I'm like, what is happening to me? This doesn't affect me. Why is this affecting me? This isn't supposed to happen. I got very agitated.
Oh, yeah. I teared up a little bit listening to it just now.
Right? Yeah, same.
Oh.
I got so many messages from people who said that they were like, in the middle of the grocery store listening and they started crying because they were like reacting to me crying. I was like, I'm sorry, guys. I understand what that's like, though. Hearing somebody who's crying can make you feel like you're going to cry. It's like a yawn a little bit, But yeah, I forgot about, like, you can hear me in that recording, like, sniffling for a minute after, like, trying to get my act together.
Kill me then, Voldemort. I welcome death, but my death will not bring you what you seek. There is so much you do not understand.
What the fucking fuck was Voldemort doing? Who was that guy?
Who was that
guy? That guy was like, fuck you, I'm not afraid to die. He's super old, but I can't think of anybody that old that isn't unaccounted for. Is Grindelwald dead? Did Dumbledore kill him in the Great Duel, or did he just subdue him?
We do not know.
What if it was him? So, you asked me last episode, you know, what did I think was in the vault that Bellatrix was so worried about?
I didn't even say, what do you think was in the vault? I was just like, why do you think she's so upset, though?
Yeah. And I want to say I thought that maybe there was a Horcrux in there, but she didn't know that's what it was. Mm-hmm. Did I say that?
No.
Really? I'm disappointed in me. All right. Well, that won't be on the spreadsheet that Laura made.
Right. Oh, and then we have fucking Ron, who's like convinced Dumbledore's still alive.
Well, you know what? Someone had to say it, and I didn't want it to be me. So, Ron got questions, and I'm not mad at him. Until we get answers, somebody's got to be the one in the group saying this shit.
It's your eye I've been seeing in the mirror. There was silence in the room. Harry and the barman looked at each other. He turned away, lighting lamps with prods of his wand, not looking at any of them. "You're Aberforth," said Harry to the man's back. And as the crowd backed away...
What the fuck?
What the fuck is that?
Did you hear that?
That beep, right? Is that
Yeah.
recording?
I'm like... Uh-oh.
And as the crowd backed...
That's weird. I'm gonna have to message Austin about that, because I don't know what the heck that was. Weird. Alright. I thought that I was getting like an Amber Alert or something, but no.
Harry was able to take in their surroundings. He did not recognize the room at all. It was enormous and looked rather like the interior of a particularly sumptuous tree house, or perhaps a gigantic ship's cabin.
They get to the room, and Harry's like, he doesn't recognize it. I was like, that's the fucking room requirement. And so I only guessed it by like a half a page, so it's not a big deal. Mm-hmm. But I was still proud of myself, I guess.
Chapter 30. The Sacking of Severus Snape.
This chapter title is misleading. I think in my mind he was getting fired by Voldemort. Like Voldemort was going to show up and Snape was going to take the heat for Harry having been in the school. I think is what I thought it meant.
Okay.
What ended up happening, which is, did he turn into a bat? Jesus Christ.
Where's Ron? Asked Harry. Where's Hermione? They said something about a bathroom, said Ginny. Not long after you left.
That bathroom is going to be Myrtle's bathroom, though, right?
Maybe.
It's got to be. It's got to be Myrtle's, right?
So why?
And Myrtle's been there a long time, and she hasn't been there forever. Well, maybe Myrtle knows something about where to find that diadem. You know, maybe she's seen some shit. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just saying, you know.
The next chapter, you don't get to read.
Why not?
I'm going to read it to you.
Are you reading it now?
Not now. Hell no. This would be a real
Oh,
long
are
one.
you saying I don't get to read it until we record again?
Correct.
You monster!
I thought you might be a little bit mad at me, yeah.
You're the fucking worst person ever.
I think I have established 3 or 4 spots to pause and talk before we continue on.
4 spots?
Yeah, I think.
Oh, this is gonna all be terrible.
It's not all terrible. It's there's a lot that happens though.
I'm so afraid.
Oh my god, relax.
Potter's there! Someone grab him! Before Harry could speak, there was a massive movement. The Gryffindors in front of him had risen and stood facing not Harry, but the Slytherins. Then the Hufflepuffs stood, and almost at the same moment, the Ravenclaws, all of them with their backs to Harry, all of them looking towards Pansy instead, and Harry, awestruck and overwhelmed, saw wands emerging everywhere, pulled from beneath cloaks and from under sleeves. "Thank you, Miss Parkinson," said Professor McGonagall in a clipped voice. "You will leave the hall first with Mr. Filch. if the rest of your house could follow.
So nobody from Slytherin stayed.
Nope.
Even though we threw down the gauntlet and we said it's time to make a choice. They clearly made a fucking choice.
Potter, said Professor McGonagall, hurrying up to him as students flooded the platform, jostling for position, receiving instructions. Aren't you supposed to be looking for something?
Why isn't he going to the bathroom? He has to go to the bathroom next, right?
Why? Why would he go to the bathroom?
Isn't that where Ron and Hermione are?
I don't know.
I feel like that's where they are. That was the last thing I heard from them.
He says that they're not on the map.
Yeah, but I know they're not on the map. And I don't have an explanation for why they're not on the map.
And you keep saying that, like, why would they be there?
I don't
You
know.
keep saying, like, you're so sure they're there, but not why.
I don't even know how long Myrtle's been dead. But I just feel like she would know things. Which could be completely baseless, but it's all I've got to hold on to, and how dare you take that from me?
The enormous bearded figure clambered to his feet. What the? Harry!
Oh shit, it's Hagrid.
You're here! You're here! Good boy, Grawpy! He bellowed through the hole in the window.
Did he just throw him
He
through
just
the window?
threw
Is that
him.
what just happened?
Yep. Where the hell have you been? Harry shouted. Chamber of Secrets, said Ron. Chamber...
Oh.
What? Said Harry, coming to an unsteady halt before them. Have you seen my grandson? He's fighting, said Harry. Naturally, said the old lady proudly.
That's so great.
Excuse me, I must go and assist him. We should tell them to get out. We don't want any more Dobbies, do we? We can't order them to die for us.
Oh,
There was a
you guys.
there was a clatter as the basilisk fangs cascaded out of Hermione's arms. Running at Ron, she flung them around his neck and kissed him full on the mouth.
Oh.
Ginny, said Harry, I'm sorry, but we need you to leave too, just for a bit. Then you can come back in. Ginny looked simply delighted to leave her sanctuary. And then you can come back in, he shouted after her as she ran up the steps after Tonks. You've got to come back in.
Because there are going to be casualties, and it better not be Jenny. It better not be anybody, though it's going to be somebody. Like, it better not be Neville. Better not be Jenny. I'm not really here for the twins. It better not be Tonks. There's a lot of people it better not be.
Who's somebody that you'd be okay with dying?
Cho.
Oh shit. Okay.
I would be okay if it's Cho.
That's real cold. After...
Right? Not because I dislike her, but I have to name names.
Yeah, no.
Names.
I get why. It's
It's
just
the
like
Red Scare all over again.
after we were both sort of side-eyeing her last chapter, it feels real petty, but I'm fine with it. Mrs. Weasley?
No.
Mr. Weasley?
No. Percy.
Okay,
Percy.
that's fair.
Right? Because that would suck for the Weasleys, and I would feel bad for them, but I would not personally be devastated. And also, it would be sort of a redemption arc, because he was a prick for like 5 books.
That's true.
Right? So he comes in at the last minute just to die? Okay. What if a Malfoy suddenly has like a turn of heart, right?
Okay. He had already stretched out his hand, though he remained 10 feet away, when a voice behind him said, "Hold it, Potter."
Shut up!
Through the small space between their jeering faces, he saw Draco Malfoy. That's
He's
my...
there, but he's doing it wrong!
When you were like, me, don't have to be Draco, I'm like, oh, she's about to find out real soon!
God damn it!
No, someone was shouting. No! Fred, no! And Percy was shaking his brother, and Ron was kneeling beside him, and Fred's eyes stared without seeing. The ghost of his last laugh still etched on his face.
Damn it! Fuck, seriously? Fuck. Oh, come on. Motherfucker.
So that was like all over the place.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why, when there's a perfectly good Percy standing right there?
Because life is not fair.
Fucking motherfucker.
Can we just talk about the relevance of that statement right there to today, when everything is happening, and you're just like, when there's a perfectly good blank right there. Especially with this past year, 2016, taking like one incredible artist after another.
Yep.
I forgot about that line.
Perfectly good Percy.
Oh my god.
Fuck. Yeah. So, yeah, apparently I was spoiled on the twins and then forgot that I said it could be the twins and then was devastated all over again when it was actually a twin.
That's about the size of it. I'm so glad your brain is like betraying you all the time. This show wouldn't be nearly as fun if it worked like everyone else's.
I forgot all about that. God damn it. Shit.
Something more than blood was leaking from Snape. Silvery blue, neither gas nor liquid, it gushed from his mouth and his ears and his eyes.
The only thing I can think of is that it must be his Patronus. But I've never seen that before. Like someone dying and it coming out of them.
Okay, gotcha.
I mean, the only reason I think that is because the only time anything is described as silvery is when it's that.
Chapter 33. The Prince's Tale.
So I remember people being like, oh, you should totally read 33. Right? But I didn't think about that as I was
People
reading.
telling me to read 33 like I don't know to read 33, like, guys. Come on.
It's your first day here or something.
Harry had a clear view of the bodies lying next to Fred. Remus and Tonks. Pale and still and peaceful looking, apparently asleep beneath the dark, enchanted ceiling. Harry ran without stopping, clutching the crystal flask of Snape's last thoughts, and he did not slow down until he reached the stone gargoyle guarding the headmaster's office.
The pensive thoughts are also silvery.
Does it make a difference being Muggle-born? Snape hesitated. His black eyes, eager in the greenish gloom, moved over the pale face, the dark red hair. No, he said. It doesn't make any difference. If there comes a time when Lord Voldemort stops sending that snake forth to do his bidding, but keeps it safe beside him under magical protection, then I think it will be safe to tell Harry. Tell him what? Part of Lord Voldemort lives inside Harry. And it is that which gives him the power of speech with snakes and a connection with Lord Voldemort's mind that he has never understood. Expecto Patronum! From the tip of his wand burst the silver dough.
I knew it!
Snape might just have closed the door.
Jesus Christ.
I know, right?
That's a lot. That's a fucking lot. I purposely never said out loud recording Snape because I had no backup for it. I had no justification for it. I had nothing for it. You know what I mean? Like if I had said it, you'd have been like, "Well, why do you think that?" And I'd be like, "I don't know." But in my deep down inside, I was like, "It's got to be him," because who else is there? But I had nothing concrete to support it, so I was just like, "I'm being crazy. I'm being sentimental. I don't want to accept the facts that he's terrible." You know what I mean? I'm hanging on to that last shred of maybe he's not the worst thing ever.
You totally called this in like the second chapter of the first book. Do you remember that?
No. What?
Yeah, you were like, what, did Snape like fall in love with Harry's mom and get jilted or something?
Oh.
It was like a total aside. And I was just like, oh my god, wouldn't that be crazy? And I just like totally like went with it. Petunia too, like her story,
that made me so sad.
It's so sad.
But the fact that she had the balls to write, a Muggle wrote Dumbledore, and they got a letter back like, nah, this is not for you. Of course she's terrible and bitter and goes out and marries Vernon. Who else are you gonna marry?
Right?
This is like a fucking Greek tragedy.
I know.
Jesus Christ. What?
These books are so good. Oh my God, I forgot. I'm getting all emotional now. Of course she goes out and marries a Vernon. Who else are you going to marry? Like, that's totally exactly basically what Rowling said in an interview. She was like, she purposely went out and looked for somebody who had nothing to do with magic, didn't believe in it, didn't want anything to do with anything other than an average, normal life. Because that she could do. She could provide that.
Wow. Well, yeah, I mean, once you hear her story, it makes perfect sense what she became. It doesn't excuse it and how evil she was to Harry, but it makes it understandable. There's no mystery anymore about why she is the way she is and her life looks the way it looks. And she married who she married. Like, it all becomes crystal clear.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I just like Petunia in particular. The moment when she says goodbye to Harry for the final time, she stops and looks like she wants to say something to him. And then she walks away. And Rowling has said that she debated how to have Petunia handle that moment. That she wrote a scene where she explains and tries to apologize. And she realized that's just not Petunia.
No.
She'd be doing that for herself, to make herself feel better.
Yeah. The level of honesty it would take for Petunia to do a sincere apology, I don't think A, she's capable of, and B, there just wasn't enough time for it. That's not the sort of place you get to in a split second, I don't think. Her hatred of Harry is so tied up with resentment and jealousy and anger, and like missed opportunities, and it's a big ball of mess.
Yeah. And
you don't just, offer up a heartfelt explanation off like the top of your head in a moment that you're unprepared for. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I think any kind of scene that would have involved her apologizing and all that shit would have fallen really flat, I think. I don't think anybody would have been moved by it or even appreciate it.
Yeah, too little, too late.
I think. And you know what? People are resistant to that idea of too little, too late. We always want to be like, no, it's never too late. Yo, sometimes it's too fucking late. You know what I mean? That's just a fucking fact of life. It's harsh, but yeah, sometimes it's too fucking little, too late.
Like, and there's another element to the too late part where when it's not about apologizing anymore, it's to make yourself feel better. Like when somebody is saying something and you can tell that they're saying it because they just couldn't bear it anymore. Yeah. That it's about them now. And that's too little, too wrong focus. You know, there was,
and you're right about the thing that if Petunia was trying to make herself feel better in this moment, the thing that makes her feel better isn't going to be admitting how wrong she is. Right?
Yep.
So I think walking away like it's not a big deal is what she did to make herself feel better.
Yeah, that's probably true. That's washing her hands of it, basically.
But the story, the backstory is still incredibly sad, though.
Oh my God!
And that we don't get it until she's practically not even a character anymore. So it doesn't. We don't have it for the whole duration of the story, so we never have it to like sympathize with her or.
Yeah, and I think it really is a good representation of what it's like to grow up and find out things about family members that you really don't like. That suddenly gives a new dimension to who they are as a person, but it doesn't make you suddenly like them.
Yep, agreed.
You're just like, oh, now this all makes sense now. Yeah. Or it gives you an urge, like you feel like you should like them now, and then the next time you see them, you're like, nope, not going to happen. You're still terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking Greek chorus over here. Okay. We just have 5 minutes left.
It carries a curse. Surely you realize that. Why even touch it?
I was a fool, sorely tempted.
Tempted by what?
Dumbledore did not answer.
Oh, so what the fuck is that?
Well, it's supposed to be the
Ring of Power,
resurrection
right?
stone.
Because what does Dumbledore want to resurrect? He's got his sister. And
Yep.
Oh my God, you guys, I can't.
There's so much. There's
Fucking
so much.
I cannot even. Oh, I can't. Dumbledore inadvertently put Snape in a position to have to be killed by Voldemort. Because
That's true.
Dumbledore is the one who says, Snape, you have to kill me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why Voldemort ends up killing Snape. So Dumbledore kind of fucked that up too.
That is true.
It up, but, kind of, stuck at the Snape again. Like one last time.
While Snape is doing all of this, he doesn't know why. He doesn't know why he's putting that fucking sword down there. Because Dumbledore still isn't telling him shit.
He's not telling him shit. Which was like, oh, Dumbledore doesn't tell anybody anything.
Nope.
Which
doesn't.
Was it a weird way reassuring? I'm like,
Right.
oh, this is just how he gets down. So fucking Harry is the fucking Horcrux. Oh my God. So Harry has to die.
Yeah.
But I don't, even in my heart of hearts right now, I don't believe that's really going to happen.
How do you get around that?
You don't. I don't know how this ends without making me want to like just blow everything up. Honestly, I don't. Like, I don't want Harry to die so the Voldemort dies. Like, that's not what I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how we get to the end and avoid that and not feel cheated.
It did not matter about bringing them back, for he was about to join them. He was not really fetching them, they were fetching him.
It's Lily and James and Lupin and Sirius, and they're all with him as he's walking towards certain doom. I can't. Like, there's not enough pages left for this to come out well, right? I feel like we don't have enough time for this to have a happy ending, is what I feel like.
He saw the mouth move and a flash of green light, and everything was gone.
Harry's gonna be fine. Voldemort's gonna be vanquished, and it's gonna be a happy ending. Because I deserve a happy ending.
Right.
But I have no faith that I will get it. Like, zero faith that I will get it.
It came to him that he must exist, must be more than disembodied thought, because he was lying, definitely lying on some surface.
So if Harry is in some sort of weird state, say he's just unconscious or whatever, right? Then does that mean that Voldemort is also laying on the ground somewhere, having his own near-death conversation?
I mean, Voldemort's... There have been Horcruxes destroyed already, and Voldemort hasn't even been able to tell.
Right.
So I'm not sure... In one swift, fluid motion, Neville broke free of the body-blind curse upon him. The flaming hat fell off him, and he drew from its depths something silver with a glittering rubied handle.
Now let's stop there.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like it was in the hat. Wait.
Remember how Harry did that same thing? In the second book, Harry pulls the Sword of Gryffindor out of the sorting hat.
Oh my God, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Yep.
God damn it. God damn it. Holy fuck.
Voldemort fell backwards, arms splayed, the slit pupils of the scarlet eyes rolling upwards. Tom Riddle hit the floor with a mundane finality, his body feeble and shrunken, the white hands empty, the snake-like face vacant and unknowing. Voldemort was dead.
That's it, guys.
Holy shit.
That's the end of Harry Potter Unspoiled.
That's just the worst sentence I've ever heard.
I can't believe we really did it. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys, and listening to me discover Harry Potter.
I'm not really crying, I'm just making a sound noise. Toodaloo, motherfuckers.
Aww. I I got a little sad there at the end.
Me too.
I was so sad when we finally finished it.
I was too.
Oh, man. I just felt like it was going to last forever because it seemed so daunting at the beginning. But it just flew by.
I don't, like, in the moment it was super sad, but it wasn't until I edited the final episode. I was just like, I just sat there after I finished editing it, and Owen saw me because he was like playing a game, and he turns and he's like, "Is everything okay?" And I just went, "I'm really sad it's over now," and I just started bawling, crying. And he was, he was supportive and compassionate. Like, it wasn't like he was, well, what's the big deal? Yeah. But you could tell that, like, he still was just kind of like, oh, sweetie, And then he listened to the final episode himself, and he came home right after listening to it and was like, I listened to the last episode today. And he was, like, clearly upset. And I was like, you see? It was just really...
how long it took us to wrap that one? We didn't want to get...
We kept talking and talking. Yes.
Yeah, it was hard to be like, it was hard to be like, good night.
Mm-hmm.
It was really hard to end it.
Mm-hmm.
How much fun was this? I had so much fun doing this.
Same.
I really did. God damn, I had so much fun.
I'm so glad that you agreed to do it. I knew you'd love them if you gave them a chance. I knew it.
Without the wire, none of this would have happened.
I know, right? Thank you, Wire, for setting us up. And now we're doing the Dresden Files, which, while very different, I think you're going to have a lot of the same feelings about. Because it is just super fun.
Yeah.
It's just different.
It's very different. But I like it a lot. And it doesn't... I mean, it's still early. I haven't really gotten into... It doesn't have the thing where you don't know where people fall just yet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it's still super early in the series. I'm sure there will be more and more characters introduced where I'm just like, what the fuck is up with you?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
There's a few characters that I totally thought were there from the beginning. And now I'm realizing that a couple of them you're not going to even meet until the 5th book. And they're major characters that are there forever. But they don't show up until... So I'm like... I'm seeing like artwork that I like that I'm wanting to share that has them in them, and I can't yet. And it's just like, I just didn't realize how long it takes to meet some of those characters. But there are a couple that are coming in the very next book, so that'll be fun.
Oh, the book about the zombies?
yeah, guys. If you don't listen to the Dresden Files podcast, maybe you should, because all of the books are titled something that sort of gives a hint as to like the theme the book is going to have. And the most recent one is titled Full Moon that we just finished covering. And I thought she would pick up on it right away that it was going to be werewolves.
She did not.
She did not at all. Like when I said something, you were like, oh, and I was like, really? Oh, okay. I thought you were kind of fucking with me for a second, to be honest.
Nope. But see, now I know what's up. Now I know.
Mm-hmm.
So
the next book is called Grave Peril, and she has decided that means zombies.
It's zombies.
So
with a little clause, a little caveat that it could also be vampires.
Right.
Because I don't know exactly what the lore is in this book about, whether they turn from the grave and all that stuff.
That's true.
But I'm gonna go ahead and go with zombies.
So yeah, that another good thing about Dresden Files is that it is a 16-book series.
Oh my god.
So it won't end as quickly. Although we are going through them a little bit faster, but that's also, again, partially because we're at the start of the series and things will get denser as we go on. And it's not over yet. It's not a concluded series, but I decided to go ahead and start it anyway because I figure 16 books is enough to be going on with. No, it is not.
Jesus Christ, what else is there to say? 16 books is a lot of fucking books.
Honestly, we're at book 16, and it feels like we're just starting to get into the real thing that everything is about.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
And that's not a bad thing. Like that sounds crazy, and you're like, oh, really? But no, it's fine. It's done well, so it's fine.
Okay.
I promise.
I will trust you. Because as soon as you said that, I was like, really? That sounds like a lot of wasted time.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
But,
it's just, it's because of how epic it is. It needs that amount of time for it to be set up. Because it is a humongous story.
Really?
So,
okay.
yeah. So yeah, that's something. At least we have Dresden Files. And then we're going to be starting, after I finish Penny Dreadful, we're going to be starting Westworld. Which there's only, 10 episodes of that?
10 episodes, yeah.
But still, that's opening a new thing. And we're finishing up Sherlock. We have one more season of that.
Yeah, and we're going to do the last season of Leftovers.
Right.
And
Oh, yeah, that's right, because
episodes,
Leftovers
so
is first, and then Westworld. Right.
Oh, yeah, I guess so, yeah. Because it'll be, wrap the Leftovers up before we start something else.
Right.
And that won't take long, 10 episodes.
So we've got a lot coming up.
No.
What? What?
I'm sorry. I don't even think it's 10. It's like 7 or 8.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You said that.
It's a short finale season.
I kind of would like to have you on as a guest on the Game of Thrones shows once that comes back, which I think is in July, they said.
I am down.
So I'll put that out there. Game of Thrones, for those of you who are new, I cover as a patrons-only show. Because my opinions on the show were controversial enough that I started to get a lot of hate mail and bad reviews on my Song of Ice and Fire feed when I posted them publicly. And I'm frankly not here to get abuse and not interested in putting in that kind of time and emotional energy to have somebody call me a politically correct militant feminist. So...
yeah, because you objected to a rape scene.
Yeah, because I didn't like a rape scene that they just threw in there for funsies like they do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I have made it patrons only. So if you're somebody who watches that show and you're interested, last year I covered it with Miles and Anton, and I'm not sure if I'm going to have both of them back this time because I don't know how their schedules are working out. I don't know how my schedule's working out for that matter, because when shows come back on the air, it can be a little bit chaotic. But it's a lot of fun to cover, especially last year. I had gotten so angry about season, was it 6 that
5.
we just finished? Yeah, okay. So season 5 I was so mad about. That for season 6 we did a new format where instead of just talking about it like episode by episode the way we had been, I started giving Miles multiple choice questions with like outrageous answers, and he had to figure out which one was the correct answer.
Yeah, because Miles is not watching it at all.
No, he has decided he's done with it. So we decided to do it that way. And it was really, he was pretty good at it. There were a few that caught him, but mostly he guessed mostly right, except that he did it with this like, are you serious? But frankly, season 6 was a huge improvement over season 5. So I'm hoping the same will be true of season 7.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm not going to lie, guys. I am a huge fan, unabashed. I have my problems with this show, but I still love it and enjoy it. And also, I'm not a book reader. I only read the first 2 books.
I thought you said 3 to me one time. Well, maybe it's just 2.
No, I never made it. I definitely never got 3.
Okay.
And I'm super excited about it coming back, and I've watched all the trailers, and I'm super, super excited.
I haven't watched the trailers, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Get on that. I mean, as soon as you start to hear the music, I just get hype. I do. I can't help it.
I think my baggage has kind of like weighed me down in terms of wanting to watch the trailers. Like people have shared them and I'm just kind of like, yeah, you know, and I need to get over that, but it is hard for me because I just had such a negative experience.
Yeah.
It was the kind of thing that, you know, the show airs on Sunday and I had to brace myself every Monday morning for it to get like really angry because I was just getting, my feed was flooded with people on Facebook and everything, just arguing and angry with each other. And me at them and them at me. So it was a really tiring time.
Yeah. I know that season 5 was really rough.
Mm-hmm.
I remember listening to them, and it was hard, and you weren't having fun with it towards, like, by the middle of the season, you were, it was like a chore.
Yeah, I seriously considered just quitting it. Like, I really thought that's what I was going to have to do, was just not cover it anymore.
Yeah, you said you weren't going to cover it. And then, luckily you came up with this, and Miles was down, and, like, a fun way to approach it.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I thought you weren't going to come back either. I thought you were going to let that just, like, well, we're done here.
Yeah, I'm really glad we came. Like, it worked out that I found a fun way to cover it, and then the show just improved. Mm-hmm. So it made it feel like this wasn't a complete waste of time, thank God.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely, like, I think a lot of why it was so much better was because there was hardly any Dorne in this whole past season.
Oh, well, that helped a ton.
And I'm real worried about that because they can't avoid it anymore. Dorne's going to have to come back this new season. So I'm just like a little bit twitchy about it. But we'll see.
I'm hoping that it's the operative word is that Dorne comes to us and we don't go and spend a bunch of time in Dorne. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like, I have no idea exactly what's coming as far as that's concerned. But, if there's war happening, I would like to think that they are going to go towards Westeros.
Right.
And, as opposed to us just spending a bunch of time there. Because I found them to be really, really tedious.
Yes. Same.
But there was a lot of good stuff in season 6. I mean, they did a lot of really, just a lot of phenomenal stuff happened last season. So I'm excited.
Agreed. Same. All right. Well, I guess that's about everything.
Yeah,
Let me just say hi to new patrons. We have 3 new ones this week. Evan Allen David Haley, who in the Dresden episode I said, oh, lots of names because he's so fancy. But he left a comment on Patreon that said, I have all those names so that it makes it easier to bargain with demons. Which I really like.
Well done.
And let's see. Oh, and the other 2 that I thought were new patrons are not, in fact, new patrons. They are people who changed their pledge amount. So they showed up as being new when they're not. But everybody who is $10 and up, I'm going to be mailing out your basic Snape postcards this weekend, I suppose. I'm really excited because they came out super cute. I posted a picture. And the next month for June, the postcards for patrons are going to be designed by Michelle from Hot Wheels and Glue Guns, the Etsy shop that I am that is a sponsor of mine. So yeah, y'all should go check out Hot Wheels and Glue Guns on Etsy. Because she has a lot of different stuff. She recently started making like bow ties for dogs, which is hilarious to me. Mm-hmm. I think if I'm remembering right, it's for dogs. Now I'm like, oh, what if they're bow ties for people? And I was just super snotty and insulting right there. Or no, maybe what I'm thinking of was they were bow ties for the Kentucky Derby. That's what it was. So they were bow ties for people, but they had horses on them. So that's what I was thinking of.
That was a wild ride with you just now.
Right?
Figuring that out.
Just like, because I was like, there were animals and there were bow ties. And the first thing, of course, you think of is a dog. Am I right? Like that video you shared today of the dogs walking on their hind legs.
Isn't that the worst thing that's ever happened?
It's like,
I hate it.
It feels like they're possessed. Right?
I hate it. The way, especially, and the way that they're shot is that you don't know it's going to be a dog until it fucking turns around and that it's a dog. And I'm racked with horror about why is this poor dog walking like this, even though I know you can train poodles to walk on their hind legs and they do it at the circus. That does not make it right, and it doesn't mean you should dress them up and put shoes and little tiny backpacks on them.
Oh my God, the little backpacks. I forgot about that part.
And it's like a thing that's happening. It's not just one dog running around. They're like, this is a thing that people are doing. I don't care for it.
Guys, don't Google that. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
I was going to say something else. We got totally sidelined. Oh, I know. I was going to say that I just started covering Legion with Maggie, and it finally got approved on iTunes. It takes so goddamn long for them to approve shit. I swear to God. But OMG, this show. I'm really mad that I'm watching one per week. Like, that is some nonsense. It makes me really angry. I just watched the 3rd episode, and I'm sitting there like, every episode so far has ended in this place that I'm just like, what? Like, it just ends there. Oh, cruel.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Oh, it's so good. Guys, seriously, if you haven't watched it, go find it. It's only going to be on Hulu for like another week. It's until the end of the month, and then it's going to be gone. And I'm hoping they put it on Amazon Prime or Amazon Instant or something, because I don't know how I'm going to find it to finish the show. But definitely go watch it, because I swear to God, this is television of the future. This is television where you're starting to make movies look bad.
Yeah,
do you know what
agreed.
I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
It's just the kind of thing that it makes you go, yeah, you know what? Maybe I don't need to go see a big Marvel superhero movie. Maybe I could just sit in my damn couch and watch this amazing piece of film unfold in front of me on this tiny screen, and it's even better, which that's serious. So,
yeah.
Oh, so good.
And it's FX coming out swinging, you know, which is kind of exciting, because I feel like when something like that happens, other programming feels like, oh, we got to step our game up.
Yes, that's true.
Except for like CBS. CBS never worries about stepping its game up. But, you know, so like, I know people have been saying it like the last 2 years, but I really think we are in this moment of just amazing television that we're getting to experience, you know, like fucking next level type storytelling is happening, and it's a time to be alive. I'm happy.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah, I'm somebody that, like, I get real irate when people try and talk about like television being the death of reading and everything. I'm just like,
please.
Exactly. Reading has its place for its things, and television does something totally different, and you just cannot try and act like one's better than the other. Yep. It's just different. That's it.
I mean, it's just there's no superiority there, you know. I mean, I'm a big reader, and I love to read, and it just does something. It's just a very different experience. I also fucking love television, you know, and I hate those people that are. You ever talk on something and somebody comes on your post like, "Oh, I don't have a TV."
Oh my God,
the fuck out of here with that bullshit. Go away.
Owen talks about that because his parents got rid of their TV. Oh, excuse me, and how he says that he swears to God, like, that he's like, they got rid of their TV because they were broke, but they try to make it sound like it was a decision that they made for like their morality.
Right. Yeah.
And
my favorite,
bring it up all the time.
Yeah, and especially if it's someone that's our age, because I'm like, I know you got a phone and a fucking tablet, and you're watching shit on that all the goddamn time, so just shut up. Yeah. Oh, I don't have it. Somebody posted about, I think it was The Leftovers, a friend of mine, and then one of her friends was like, "Oh, what's that?" And she was like, "Oh, it's this beautiful television show. It's on HBO." "Oh, yeah, we got rid of our TV." Well, then, get the fuck out of my post then.
Come on, people. Like, what do you want? I want to know what reaction they're, like, hoping for. Are they hoping for somebody to come and, like, be like, "Oh my God, really? That's so cool of you. Right? That's really good. Like, you must be a better person fundamentally."
I'm so impressed. I can't wait to be like you.
I think that's got to be what they're looking for, right?
It's gotta be.
Somebody out there listening to us doesn't have a TV and is now wondering if they're that person.
Oh,
don't be that person, whoever you are. You know who you are. You know. We don't have to tell you.
Just don't fucking shame people for liking TV. I hate that.
Don't shame people for liking anything.
There you go. Don't shame people.
And this comes from somebody who does that constantly, shames people like all the time. So I don't get to really say that, but like, you know, do as I say, not as I do. I shame people all the time. Like, what is with people liking? Give me something terrible.
I don't know. What was the thing you had about coffee drinks that got people all upset?
No, see, and that's the thing, is people are acting like they're not allowed to like the thing. I'm saying you can like it, but don't call it coffee because it's not fucking coffee anymore. I'm talking about, like, you know, something like a Frappuccino, which it's a milkshake with a little coffee flavoring in it. And that's fine. I get frappuccinos now and then. And sure, but it's not coffee. You like ice cream. If that's the only way that you can take your coffee is loaded with sugar and tons of cream and stuff, then saying, oh my God, I love coffee so much. No, you kind of don't. You're kind of a liar. You don't like coffee. You like ice cream that's flavored like coffee. And that's fine. You can like that. But, just know what it is. Just saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm making a lot of people angry again right now. I can tell. I can feel it. I can feel it from the people that are not even yet listening to this as we record it. I can feel their waves of just like, you don't fucking know me. No, I do though. I do. It's fine.
Oh my God. I mean, I don't ever say it out loud, but that's how I am about like a lot of music.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
right.
I'm like, oh, you like that? Mm-hmm.
This is what I mean, right? Like I'm saying, don't shame people for liking stuff, but then in the other breath, I'm just like, really? Okay. Yeah, you go listen to that. You go watch that. You go buy that. Whatever, you dummy.
But see, I don't ever say anything now, so I can say it. Don't shame people. Judge them silently the way God intended.
Okay, I like that. But that's the thing, though. I'm not like that. I can't keep my shaming to myself. Even if I don't say it out loud, it's all over my face. All over my face. I can tell people notice it and get annoyed with me. Like, I can tell sometimes when Owen's family is, like, cooking in front of me and I have a look on my face like I want to throw the pan across the room and shake them. And I can tell they can tell. But I don't say anything. But it doesn't matter because they can see it on my face.
Wanting to throw the pan across the room and shake them is pretty violent, so I'm not surprised they can see it on your face.
What are you doing putting a turkey in a roasting bag without even salting it? You don't deserve that turkey. Put it down. Christ.
That's a whole other conversation in people's aversion to season. I don't know what that's about. What do you have against seasoning?
I did this like meal planning thing this past week, and I got a bunch of those containers that are divided into 3 sections. And one section I had red curry coconut noodles with chicken thighs and red peppers and mushrooms. And then I had coconut and ginger mashed sweet potatoes. And then I had broccoli tossed with cilantro and lime juice and curry powder and toasted almonds. And I posted a picture on Instagram, and let me tell you, it sounds good when I say it. It was like 6 times better than it sounds. That food came out perfectly. And I posted a picture on Instagram, and this lady comments, and she's like, this is the first time I see meal planning that doesn't look like depression and dried up chicken breasts. She was like, this is the kind of meal planning I can do. I've been looking for somebody's example that just doesn't make me want to kill myself. I'm like, yeah, I'm in a couple of groups about like trying to, do better with your eating. And I asked for suggestions, and that's all fucking anybody says. Chicken breasts and brown rice. No wonder you don't want to eat healthy.
This girl that I work with has been on a watching what she eats in anticipation of vacation.
Okay.
And she was complaining. She was like, you know what I eat every day? Chicken and broccoli, chicken and spinach. And she was saying it, but she was so mad. She was like, I wake up in the morning, I drink a glass of lemon water, and then I have scrambled eggs. No salt, no pepper, no cheese. And then, you know what I do? I eat nuts. And then at night, chicken. And she was so fucking angry.
Oh my God. See, like, why are you doing this to yourself, though? Like, is looking good really worth living that way? Is it? And because you don't have to, right? I made this lovely curry thing. Sure, does it have some fat in it? Yes, it does. Because you need fat to live. You need fat to feel full. It's fine. Don't be afraid, my child. I'll take your hand and lead you. Why are you not adding salt to your scrambled eggs? The fuck is that about?
I don't know.
Unless you've got hypertension or something. You don't need to worry about that. It's fine.
Just a scrambled egg.
Listen, that's just self-flagellation. There comes a point where you just have to be like, am I a monk? Yes or no? And if the answer is no, and if you're about to go on vacation and drink like 6 margaritas, maybe you can have the salt on your eggs, sweetie. So like I said, don't shame people. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. You know where to find us. Facebook.com/unspoiledpod, Twitter at unspoiledshow, Instagram at unspoiledpodcast. You can find me on Twitter at Natasha Writing and on Instagram at The Glamour Junkie, where I post pictures of my meal plans and my planners and my cats mostly. You'll know you're on the right feed if you're blinded by colors when you get there. That's my thing. If you want to support the show, leave a review on iTunes. And also, you can shop on Amazon at unspoiledpodcast.com/Amazon. And a few more people have been doing that lately. Have been going out of their way to use that link when they're buying like appliances and stuff. I had one person use it to buy a computer recently. What's up, money? And I had somebody use it to buy a new cell phone. So I really appreciate it. And I've had a couple questions about how it works. When you go to unspoiledpodcast.com/Amazon, the Amazon that you see is not going to look any different. There will be no indication that it's for Unspoiled. It will work though. It's just that it doesn't like reflect on their page. It doesn't say anything when you check out. So just trust that if you use the link, it's working. I will get credit for it because I've had a few people who were confused about that. Amazon just wants you to have the exact same shopping experience that you would normally have. So they don't want to clutter it up with my, logo or name or whatever. Lastly, I don't have a solid date yet and I don't have a book, but I want you all to know that I will be having the two gentlemen, Craig and Andrew from Overdue Podcast, book podcast, which I highly recommend, on my book club show in this coming summer. So like I said, we haven't decided what book we're going to be covering together, but I invited them because, I'm trying to expand my listener base and get some new ears on here. And I love their show. And it's one of the only shows that has hosts that I would be like interested in hanging out with and chatting with. So I reached out to them and they agreed and I'm stoked about it. So keep your ears open for that, and I will announce it as soon as I know what book we're going to be doing together. Nice. Yeah, I'm really excited. And we are up to, on iTunes right now, 266 reviews. Woo!
It's pretty good, right?
I'm so excited. So excited. We're 26 reviews ahead of Song of Ice and Fire at this point, with a 4.95 average overall.
Oh, you're just talking about Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I always think that it's just like Unspoiled.
No.
A total number of reviews for Unspoiled.
No. Yeah. That's just Harry Potter. 266.
Nice.
So, yeah, keep them coming, guys. Like I've noticed a real uptick on our standing on iTunes. It makes a big difference. And Overdue, since I was just talking about them, we're recently on the front page for book podcasts on iTunes. And they have 400 something reviews. So we're getting close to the point where our number is going to be tipping us towards the very front of the line. So I'm super stoked. I'm going to try and think of another like fun thing that I can do to reward us for getting to another threshold, but I'll have to think it over. All right. Is there anything you'd like to add, madam?
No, ma'am. Just thanks for having me. I'm looking forward to the reread starting next week. So.
Oh, I can't wait.
How many? We're going to do 5 chapters, right?
Yeah, the first 5 chapters of The Sorcerer's Stone.
Nice.
The Philosopher's Stone. Okay, guys, don't yell at me. I can hear everybody in the UK just going in chorus.
I'm not going to talk about it now because it's late and we're wrapping up, but I really fell down this wormhole about that alchemy.
Oh, shit.
Oh, I really did, man.
Oh, I'm excited then.
Yeah, it turned out to be way more interesting.
All right.
Than I understood. But it took a lot of like going back and forth and reading lots of different things. But yeah, and it's funny because when I had gone to one page, it told me that I had visited the page in the past, from like 2 years ago.
Oh.
I was like, why was I on this page? And it's because I had Googled what the Philosopher's Stone was, which is tied to alchemy.
Right, yeah.
Right? So I had forgotten about that. So when I went to the page, I was like, wait, what? Last visited? I was like, oh, that's right. I read some of this before.
That's so funny.
All right. Well, that's it for me, I think.
Yeah, well, let's bring that up next time because I'm interested to hear what all you found out about. Because, like I said, I just got kind of like turned around and like in my brain, and I was just like, I can't follow. I'm stopping now. So you can lead me along by the hand. You're going to be teaching me about Harry Potter, RoShawn.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next week with first 5 chapters of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Toodaloo, motherfuckers.
Bye, guys.
That was an Unspoiled Network podcast.